Hi, I'm John Dutton, and tonight is another day of Spilled Ink, and we're looking forward to it. The teachers out there in the world are very exhausted, but it's going to be a fun night because we get to read our stuff and not have to be involved with a forced Zoom meeting. We are here by our own free will. So I'm going to start us off with some bad poetry. I was learning vocabulary, and they asked to use the program and do a rap, and this is what I came up with. So prepare yourself for some bad poetry. Do you love vocabulary? Did you just call me Larry? Have you tried vocabulary? Dude, my name is Gary. We just started a new book. The pages packed with words. Vocabulary offers a new hook. Now school won't be for the birds. Writing poetry is so lame. Learning words is the same. No one likes learning vocabulary. Wait, we get to use vocabulary? And that was my bad poetry from vocabulary. So thank you very much for listening to that horrendous poetry. All right, we are going to start with Lesley Tyson. Lesley, unmute yourself and take it away.
Okay, and a little bit of a plug. In 2 weeks from tomorrow, I will be co-hosting Poets Anonymous with McDonald. That is from 2 to 5. The meetup is already posted in Meetup, so you've got the link there. And you know, it's an open mic reading. We go round and round. One poem at a time. So I'm going to read tonight some stuff that's been accepted for an anthology and kind of go from there. The first one's called Story in Pieces. Maybe if this morning wasn't overcast, I might understand references to dinosaurs and spiders in the article about the bombed out city, where candles are the source of light after dark. But the absence of trees in last night's dream required a ziggurat journey through a mix of rubble, freshly painted walls, and chrome and cracked glass tables. So this morning, cutlery seems out of place, while I find myself looking for the treasure chest in a drawer of suddenly rusty knives. Almost as though opening a time capsule from my future with attempted explanation of what today means, except it hasn't happened yet. Such time travel confuses. No help to know it will make sense tomorrow. I am distracted, trying to remember to whom the sailboat and the bicycle belong, and in what tense. Okay, come on. And the next poem is called Hidden Meaning. The ghosts I write transmute, dissipate into mundane words in nonsense order, creating peculiar metaphors to hide in plain sight, confusing sight from everybody but me. Others trip over syntax, scrutinize impossible meaning for ordinary messages. I accept surreal images, turning them inside out, twisting them round corners to blur edges of my now and present. I am not inscrutable. My altered understanding reveals chronicles that cannot be translated into conventional sentences. Thoughts discounted from being outside normal usage. They give me labels, reconstruct me into what they want me to say. Mainstream terms become my facade, armor without weapon. Behind this protective skin, I write the ghosts haunting my life with meaning. And this final poem is a reprise of something that I have read live at Gironi Coffee House. It's called Buttercream Frosting. Stumbling into the 23rd hour of wakefulness, my body confuses exhaustion with hunger. I begin to envision walls of sanctuary as cake, covered in paper smooth buttercream frosting, decorated with strange fondant contortions. Message whispered in strange voices that might be computerized, might be mechanical. Tell me I can escape the sleeplessness by eating my way through the walls, finding nuts and raisins, nails and studs, carrot wiring. But I can't dream what is on the other side. The green apple licorice ties the package of what covers red, traps itself between my teeth to floss sense from wakeful hallucinations. Even as tired as I am, I can't look for invisible cake to solve my problem. I avoid chipping my teeth on the orange fondant of mine's private property and swipe a fingerful of buttercream frosting, letting the hectic sweetness satisfy need for sleep.
Thank you. I love it. All I can think is because you don't need cake to enjoy all the frosting. You just go,
Right.
dig it out. Oh yes,
Yeah.
Love it. Robert, you are up. Robert Fleming, take it away.
I'm calling from Delaware. The writing group I'm a member of, the Rehoboth Beach Writers Group, has several groups where we have free writes where a leader provides prompts, and I'm going to share some of the writing I did today based on those prompts. The first prompt today was the words that matter with Shizmo, and you had to select a word you know well and others that others may not. I wrote flash fiction. The number of words is 120. Moving 451 books. 12 shelves of books. Encyclopedia Britannica. Here's Webster's Dictionary. We can only take one with us. Britannica's 3rd edition, 32 volumes. Webster's 1 book. If I keep the volumes, I'll piss off my moving sergeant. Keep the dictionary, might please my sergeant. Get a treat. Funner to piss off. No, put the volumes in the fire pile. Webster is heavy. So many words. Keep less? Keep words that start with 1 letter. I love words that start with W, but less words start with X. Get the garden shears to cut up Webster. X starts some fun words. X-ray, exclamation, exercise. Only 1 page of X's. Sergeant text, trash all books. Tear the X page into my jockey shorts. That's the first one. The second one, the prompt was Acorn, and it's a poem format. Tommy ate an acorn. Tommy makes a poo. Acorns make sound? No. Herman hatches an acorn. Herman is an elephant. Elephants don't hatch eggs. Children won't know. Harriet's trunk hugged an acorn tree. Elephants are big. Need something small. The hat saw an acorn. Who is Horton? Horton is not a who. That's it. Horton smells an acorn. Who did what? Horton hears a who. Publisher, what's that? My book title. And I have one more in the tribute of bad writing. This is some very bad country lyrics for a song. I just have 8. You whack an axe down on wood, put kindling inside our stove. Get house current, we should. Your driver's license suspended, you drove. To fetch water from the river, dig a well, we should. Collect rain from the giver. Put on hoodie and pull down your hood. That's it.
Oh, those were out there. I love it. All right. Let's go Paulette Garner. Paulette Garner, take it away. Still muted? Nope. There you go.
So last time I was here, you guys had given some titles. I don't know if you remember. And one of them was Never. So I ended up writing two poems, and one of them used Never. But somebody gave me, I don't know if you can see those? These are like measuring spoons, but sizes that I have never seen in my life. They are so tiny. So that was the inspiration behind the first poem that I'm going to share with you. So it's called Never. My mother never used measuring cups. She never used measuring spoons. I don't think she even owned these types of utensils. She knew innately what each dish needed. The soup needed a pinch of salt, the stew, a dash of pepper, the vegetables, a smidgen of butter, the porridge, yes, porridge, a tad of nutmeg. Just like she knew the needs of each of her children. A pinch, a dash, a smidgen, a tad. Tiny measurements to be sure, but sometimes a little bit is more than enough. A friend gave me these 4 miniature measuring spoons, but I choose not to use them. Instead, I'll do just like my mother did, because she always got it right. Every dish she made was just right.
Nice, thank you.
The second one, same idea with the measuring spoons, but this one is more on a spiritual bent. So it has 2 scripture passages. The first scripture passage says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life," from John 3:16. The title is Beyond Measure. Why do we measure love? Why do we grip love so tightly? Our Heavenly Father lavished his love on us abundantly. God poured out the full measure of his love and devotion upon the world without fanfare, without a fuss. God graciously shows us how to love, yet we hold back, tight-fisted, legally measuring out our love. A dash of love here, a pinch over there, a smidgen or a tad, sharing a tiny, tiny bit of our Father's extravagant love with others. Love should never be measured, never, ever. And the grace of our Lord Jesus was exceedingly abundant with faith and love which are in Christ Jesus, and that's found in 1 Timothy 1:14.
Nicely done. Oops.
Thank you.
Nicely done. Yes. It was a little sketchy, but I thought most of us give me a thumbs up if you could understand it. I thought I could understand it. Good. Lots of thumbs up. Good. All right. Thank you, Paulette. I appreciate it. I believe that happened. Remember, Nick Hale, when you started all the never blank.
Yes.
We did all the blanks. Yep, that came from that night. So that was a good night. All right. Let's go, Nick Hale. Nick Hale.
Awesome.
Drum roll, please. Take it away, Nick Hale.
All right, because I actually have to hop off right after this. So Good timing, because I have I have a show to do at 7:30. And so if anyone's interested, it will be recorded after. Do not leave this for that. You can listen to it recorded if you're interested. But anyway, I am going to read something real quick. And since we're talking about unpleasantness a little bit, well, bad poetry, I guess. This is Creative Constipation. It's not writer's block, not exactly. It's that feeling you get when you have ideas, like many spoons, multitudes of them, flowing and swirling inside, groaning to get out, pressing on you, pushing outward, burning, pleading, but going nowhere, stuck behind the invisible something, a fatberg of excess somethings and or others, locking in tight, blocking that flow you hold so dear. It's painful how you hold it in, nowhere to go. Please let it go. When the pressure builds, let it flow from your pen, from the bowels of your imagination, past pusillanimous hesitation to finally cure your creative. Does it?
Oh my gosh, I love it. You use pusillanimous. I love that. That's a great word. Nicely
Thank
done,
you.
Nick Hale.
Thank you.
Oh, oh, I love it. I don't know if maybe I should just, we could, I don't know who's going to top that. All right.
I'm sure
All
someone
right.
will.
I'm sure. All right. Let's take it to Robbie. Let's go to Robbie Rise Krieger. Let's go on a journey and enjoy ourselves.
Sorry.
So Robbie, take it away.
All right, guys. Hey, how y'all doing? I'm just gonna read part of my epic poem here on my adventure on the AT. We're about 300 miles in, just out. So we're coming out of Hot Springs, North Carolina. Here goes. Sharing our stories. I met up with my friend who we originally hiked together, or going to start together. Sharing our stories, we gathered at the gas mart. My good friend was doing fine. Introducing me to his pal, Prospector. The man was on a mission, searching for Cherokee gold, a collector. He was hiking the Appalachian Trail, though his desire to defy the whole thing may have been rather frail. Sometime later, Hercules told me that he hitchhiked west and jumped off a bridge into the Mississippi. Poor Prospector, he had made it to the Virginia spine before thumbing that ride. Death is the only one who wanted to dine. The savage river sucked him under, caged by the current that wouldn't allow him any more blunder. 39 years old, but I don't want to work the truth lest I appear too bold. So let's rewind back to the present scene. Camped along the French Broad River, everyone is smoking, drinking, playing cards, movie screen. I observed the gang for a while before my tent beckoned me. Gentlemen, I bid you good night with a smile. Sun up as we ascended out of Hot Springs. It was the quaint, classic trail town, full of the abstract, intangible things. So off we rambled, Hercules and Rise, my original partner in crime, fueling those awesome fraternal highs. Overtaking the incline, we roved through the woodsy ridge, idyllic plant and pine. Then, dropping through the stream, we were lost in the leaves. Up and down, that was the theme. Southern root and rock, the dynamic smooth terrain was laid out for us to walk. Persistence paid our bill, it was the key to the lock. Opening a door to Little Paint Creek, a branch trail centering at a site we no longer had to seek. Envisioning an artist's haven, a vivid rainbow picture in view of all mystique. Little Red and Chuckles were camped across from our camp. 'Twas a night unique. In the morn, we drifted out of the oasis. I love you, Little Paint Creek. You built my cottage. You are the basis. Today is more of a test. Hercules fell, so I gave him a hand. Do your duty and lift up the rest. We had to scramble over these stumps, just couldn't get it off our chest. The short, narrow, rough ridges put a pounding in my breast. So we took recess on top of endless bluff, rolling organic cigarettes of brown gold, natural tobacco, yes, I had a puff. Slogging forward, every twist and turn only promised more path. After 14 miles, the impatience did burn. Abracadabra, I was safe at Jerry Cabin Shelter, tenting under an old growth tree, saved from all of that arduous helter-skelter. I savor my solitude. The tent is my zen, but the thunderstorm threatened, so for the shelter I did have a yen. Envious of Herc, he was in there secure. As the storm slaughtered me, this elemental intensity I had to endure. Delivered to the dawn, we had another wholesome hike, switchbacks zigzagging up with brawn. Suffering on this slope, infinite uphill, not allowed to yawn. After a series of false summits, I eventually got a handle on Hogback Ridge. The misery of motions, this plateau of pigs, hold fast to the bridge. Pushing up and down the backs of hog, I turned right, released from humpland, no more clicking of these clogs. I set up shop, some distance from the shelter. We were weary, on the bench I did plop, devouring mashed donuts out of a bag. It was my special donut mix. Now the thought of it just makes me want to gag. Anyhow, let's not create distraction from the present tale as Chuckles Little Red, Herc and I slept off all that hill and dale. This one. It was a frigid, wintry forenoon, the first one to face the heights of Humpland, Daniel Boone, increasing up out of Hogback Ridge shelter. The harsh, barren winds rattled the piggish stalks, gray trees. Riding this remoteness, the barbaric plateau, almost put me on my knees. I soon escaped the hog hills, relishing a lowland breeze. Once the sun heats the earth, the expedition isn't so bad. Muscling through another 15 miles, I found a secluded site like a true nomad. Back behind these bushes, little more math to add. Hidden amongst the underbrush, I think I hear your footsteps. Hercules, I'm back here, now hush. I didn't want anyone to spoil our seclusion at Spivvy Gap, spring so lush. So we recalled our day over the fire ring, cooking noodles and pasta, what our separate journeys did bring. The stones contained our craze, like that orange luminous light, we believed in the eternal white blaze. After quitting our campfire, Herc expressed anxiety about strangers coming back into the briar. We were close to the road, but I reassured him, 2 tents protecting an outdoor ode. That's it.
I love it, Robbie. I love how we're right there with you every step. It's awesome. Thank you, Robbie. All right, let's go to Brittany. Brittany, take it away.
Okay. Can you hear me all right? Okay,
Yes.
so I have 3 quick ones tonight, and I wrote them actually using a random word generator to get 10 words. I was not feeling very creative, and so these are the 3 that I wrote based off of a random word generator with 10 different words. The first one is, my life's a screenplay. Comedy or horror, I can't tell which. Shallow atmospheres to date commemorate my life in review. Torn between service and profit, feeling like a misfit. Training for a race that leads to nowhere and never ends. It must be a dark comedy after all. Then the next one is perform the mundane. I scraped together my courage, recovering from my public break, snapping out of my comatose state, eating turkey deli meat on my lunchtime salad again, smiling when I want to cry. There is no medicine which wards off danger or makes one appear whole when broken. In moments when I am past words, I get up again, perform the mundane. Taking care of the little things keeps me sane. And then this last one is COVID shadows. The shadows threaten recruiting destruction, indoor promises safety. Flatten the curve, counsels dictate, reading from blank pages. Illusions propped up by fears of the unknown, we cower and moan. No buttery promises of government interventions can stay the hand of fate.
Yes. I loved the mundane, Brittany. That was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm glad you've been attending. Thank you very much. Let's go, Kimberly Ray. Kimberly Ray, you are up.
Okay, hi everybody. I've got a few I want to read. Just bring it back up. First one is called Rising Waters. Soft rolling waves brushing the shoreline come hurling. Warmth that used to make your blood boil makes you recoil deeper from all that you have felt and longed to feel. Digging deep into the sand to push it away, you recoil into yourself. This was not part of the plan. Moving to the city to be part of the scene, only to find you're constantly sinking. The next one I have is called The Loudest Sound. Vibrations reverberating, emitting from within and all around. Complementary yet opposing, reaching higher into the stratosphere. Returning one by one, striking through bone and marrow. Which ones do I block out? Which ones do I hold on to? Which ones do I let fall to the ground? I pick one up in my hand, hold it close to my ear, as a shell echoes the sea, and let it whisper all its truths to me. And the last one I have is I Wish It Didn't Sting. I wish it didn't sting when rejection tears me apart. What I've poured my heart into, hidden emotions or fragments thereof, painting scenes that tiptoe quietly or outright scream. I wish it didn't sting when he doesn't think much of me, but rather holds a love kept at a distance that silently breaks, both of us apart. I wish it didn't sting when correspondence stops like a drought after the flood, after love cascaded faithfully to comply with a dream. I wish it didn't sting when I hear his poetry, the voice that gets to the depth of me, and I realize all those lustful moments and longing nights have ceased. I wish it didn't sting when my daughter looks to me with her answers, her big eyes searching for meaning, and I come up empty. I've got nothing. I wish it didn't sting when all I have is nothing. That's it. Thanks.
Nice job. I love your titles. Good job on those. All right, Alice, are you there? Alice, unmute yourself. Alice. Ask and unmute. Let's see if that helps.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we have liftoff. All right,
Still
Alice.
alive
Yes.
and trolling the internet. 2 excerpts. There was once an ancient Persian farmer by the name of Ali Hafid. He owned a large farm made up of
Alice, you must have hit something.
Can't hear you, Alice.
Yep, Alice. All right, I'm gonna text her. Let's all right. Alice. All right. Well, Megan. Oh, hold on. Alice, you're there. Go ahead, Alice.
You can hear me?
Yes.
I'm starting again and I'll go faster.
No, just take your time. Just don't touch anything. All right, go.
Still alive and trolling the internet. 2 excerpts. There was once an ancient Persian farmer by the name of Ali Hafid. He owned a large farm made up of orchards, grain fields, and gardens. He was known as a wealthy and contented man, but one day he had a visit from a Buddhist priest who in a pleasant conversation told Ali that the most valuable thing in the world was now considered a diamond. The priest called it a drop of congealed sunlight and added that if Ali had one diamond the size of his thumb, he could buy his whole community. And if he could find a diamond mine, he could place his children upon thrones. After the old priest left, all Ali could think about was diamonds, and that night he went to bed a poor man. He had lost nothing, but he was poor because he was discontented. He spent the next many days inquiring where diamonds might be found, and no one knew. So Ali made up his mind to find them. He sold his farm, left his family in charge of a neighbor, took his money, and started out to search the world for diamonds. He traveled through Asia to no avail. He searched through Palestine, moved on to what we now call Europe. After years of searching, his money had all been spent, and he found himself in rags, wretchedness, and poverty. One day, he stood on the shores of the Bay of Barcelona in Spain as a great tidal wave came rolling in between the pillars of Hercules. Ali fell victim to the awful temptation to cast himself into the incoming tide. He sank beneath its foaming crest, never to rise again. Back home, the man who had purchased Ali Hafid's farm was one day letting his camel drink from the garden brook. As the camel splashed its nose into the shallow water, Ali's successor noted a curious flash of light coming from the white sands of the stream. He pulled out a stone that had an eye of light reflecting all the hues of the rainbow. Sometime later, the old priest came back to visit Ali, and when he was led into the house, he saw a light flashing from a mantle there, and told the owner that this was a diamond. Together they rushed out into the garden and stirred up the white sands with their fingers, and then there came up other beautiful gems, even more valuable than the first. This is said to be an historically true account of the discovery of the great Golconda diamond mine. The crown jewels of England and Russia came from this mine. Now, why did ancient story tonight? Happiness, and I needed this story today. After 6 months of living through this COVID plague with no end in sight, I need to keep looking for the diamonds I can discover by living completely alone and finding new interests within the walls of my home. I need to know that the phone will ring and that emails will arrive from loyal friends. For instance, my friend Barb. Here is the poem I wrote about her. She always found a way to laugh and share happiness, but from pneumonia, called the Grace Exit for seniors. Barb's hands. Important. They helped love grow. They hugged. They competed. Each project they completed, they wrote, they carried, they mothered, they made merry. They prayed, they typed, they hauled, they made right. They pleased, they pressed, they lasted, they did their best. They planned, they created, they made happy, unabated. They heartened, they did not fold, not resting, they turned out gold. They made gorgeous each thing they touched. Barb, I will miss you so, so much. At first, they covered her mouth. The cough could not be quelled. Then they were used to write a final note saying, all is well. COVID will eventually be contained. Let me be patient till then and use my hands and heart like barbs to fight despair and love my friends.
Nice job, Alice.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
Thank
All
you.
right. Nicely done. All right, I'm moving on to Andrew Smiley. Andrew, you're up.
Okay, so I'll give this a try. Let me say a couple things about it beforehand. As I said earlier, I tried to write this poem at the request of my principal. I had thought about writing one already before that on the same topic, but when she asked me, I went ahead and started working on it. And I think it took about, I don't know, 4 days or 5 days. And some things, you know, as you write, they just come to you. And some of this did that. And so the theme was called Level Up and Win, and that's the title of the poem. And that's the theme of our school year, and it's based on a connection to like the classic arcade video games. So I did some research on those and looked up, I was trying to find some of the more popular names and things like that I could drop into the poem. So you may hear some of those. Our school's name is Franklin. One of the lines ends with that name, so that way you'll know what I'm talking about with that. Our book we're reading this year for professional development involves, I think it's called 212 Degrees or something like that, and it's the idea that 1 degree can make, you know, water boils at a certain temperature, and 1 more degree above that, you know, is where we want to try to take the students, you know, to try to push them further. And the difference that 1 degree can make is important. So I dropped that in the poem also. The poem is kind of a combination of a lot of things that I thought about over the summer, things that I saw online, things that I saw on Facebook once I finally joined it this year. And also I tried to have sort of a combination of recognizing the serious situation that we've been in, but also trying to have some humor about trying to go back to school and teaching through a computer. And that's not really an easy mood to create or line to walk. I think it came out okay. We'll see what you think, but it was fun to write. It took a little bit of work, but you know, all my faculty, you know, they seem to enjoy it. And for a more ambitious person who is more skilled than I, it may be possible to rap it, but I can't quite rap it. So I'm just going to try to read it clearly so you can hear the words. And I do apologize, it is about 2 pages long, so it's going to take, it'll take me a few minutes. So just please bear with me. I appreciate your time and the chance to read. So let me pull that up. And of course, as you know, the audience was intended to be other teachers. So it's coming from that point of view. All right, so the title is Level Up and Win. Summertime's run out. Get ready to teach. Here we go, dear friends, once more into the breach. So much of what used to be has gone kaput, but the game, the game, Watson, is afoot. Like an episode of The Twilight Zone, it's been a year like no other. Now we venture into the unknown. Educator, sisters, and brothers. Tasked to do more from afar than ever before, I share your concern, because one does not simply walk into Mordor and return. To confront virtual instruction, the new normal reality, with Google Classrooms under construction, bit by bit emoji. Like Tetris, we're trying to put moving pieces in places we need that just keep coming at us fast, like the segments of a severed centipede. Although caught online in the stream of the internet, we must realize it's just a different way for us to connect. They say when school doors shut, windows on home screens open. And when the going gets tough, the tough get going. I say when the teaching gets rough, the teachers keep teaching. We don't stop helping students who are reaching for their highest scores, and we won't forget those who aren't at the top of the leaderboard. Quarter after quarter, we try to find the right buttons to push while dealing with obstacles, setbacks, and the pains in our tush. The pandemic may have brought us temporarily to our knees, but even if and when our computers, our Google Meets freeze, we're going to have to dig deeper this year to overcome uncertainty, glitches, and fear. But remember the difference that can be made by just 1 degree. We wouldn't be in the kitchen if we couldn't take the heat. I'm sure you agree. So recall that pressure forms diamonds from rocks. It's not about how far down we've been knocked. It's about getting back up off the mat again. So say it with me, team. We're all Franklin. And it's time to level up, level up, level up, and win. Take heart, the game's not over yet. We're about to restart. So hit reset. We're all in this together. We're all in cahoots, putting down new remote roots. Focus on where we want to go, not where we've been. So let's level up, level up, level up and win. I know we may feel off balance, but we have real talent. And when have we ever backed down from a challenge? Everything seems to be in constant motion, and we'll have to manage a range of emotions. We know along the way there will be pitfalls and blips, but we have a world of knowledge at our fingertips. We've got the electronic tools we need to help our speedy sonic students learn and succeed. We might start out like we're playing Pong, but soon it'll be on like Donkey Kong. Now it's up to us to get back in the game, make the right moves, like a record sounds smooth once it's back in the groove. Yeah, we'll figure it out as we go along. Select our own sound effects, write a new song. Unlock hidden features to help our students advance. Take brain breaks so they can show off their latest TikTok dance. Teachers tune out the outside mindless chatter. And remember, all students matter. Remember, all students matter. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Let's level up, level up, level up and win. So here's what we can do for them to help our students level up and win. We'll take over their monitors like personal space invaders. To find secret treasures, we'll search like tomb raiders. Be ready to jump in another direction, survive like Frogger. Switch between too many tabs like mad skilled togglers. Have backup plans B through Z. Quick reflexes and funny reactions to keep them focused despite dozens of distractions. Find whatever works to give them some motivation to use their voices and hand-eye coordination. And maybe we'll all learn a thing or two, just like we had to do when life was simpler for me and you, like a choice between one player or two. In an arcade back in the day, we had to drop a coin to pay. Now we just click to join and it's free to play. Face it, y'all, we're not getting any saner. Better settle back in your rockers because this year we're all gamers. We're on a quest for magic links so we can become legends like Zelda. Yeah, this is for everyone who's ever held a plastic controller gripped tight in your hands, spent Waka Waka hours and hours on Pac-Man. We may not all be Super Marios or Guitar Heroes, but heaven knows this is the game we chose. Teaching with websites to keep us all safe and sound, we've made this afar. We're in the bonus round. We are called to this occasion to which we will rise, so let's be creative and flexible and welcome surprise. Look them in the eyes, show them all our kite still flies. Power ourselves up so we can empower them to level up, level up, level up and win. Let's make the best of the unique situation we're in and take this opportunity to level up level up, and win. Yeah, school's back in session. Let's all log in so we can level up, and win.
That was fantastic.
And that's it. So yeah, it's,
Andrew, I would put that on every educational website I come across. It was fantastic. I love the references. It was awesome. Great job, Andrew.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
yeah,
All right,
I tried to include all kinds of things about playing video games other than just the names of the games.
correct.
So
You
hope
did a good job. You did a good job. You really did.
The more I look at it, the more proud I am of it. I wasn't sure about it at first, but I think it's pretty solid for what
It's
it
pretty
is. You know?
solid. Yep. Keep it going. Wait, I hope you have a great year. Keep it going. We'll see you later. I love it. Keep
You
going.
too. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
All right. You got it. All right. Megan McDonald, take it away.
No, what's with the mute button today? Okay, I'm going to do 3 poems today that are loosely based on music, mainly because of my plug. If people aren't checking it out, Billy Collins is doing almost his master class in bits every day on Facebook, starting around 5:30. And this week he's been combining poetry and jazz and putting on classes and being Professor Bebop. It's been a really wonderful way to end a work day. So I decided to pull 3 of my music-based poems. The first one is Music for the Harp. Music for the harp, down in the pits, down in the coal chamber, the darkness unwraps, leaving smudges on the dry, dusty daydreams, harbingers of nights, nightmares, and dry cough. 2 lines sliding up the strings and scrolling to oblivion as the thunder streams by, in a show of slow, no return, and the forest cries for rain, but only the thunder comes and calls and leaves with no rain falling. Chords echo the streams of thunder, whispering, grumbling out of sight across the way out of the shadow of the mountain. The forest is silent, dry. No songs are heard from within, and the chords of the harp weaken. Night rain, I sit and listen for the night rain predicted, but again the rain does not fall. The sky is as dry as my eyes. Laughter has dried up. The well does not run with water or joy. Dusty, we sit and draw pictures in the rubble, and the lines of the harp diminish. The days seem longer in the mountain, the nights eternal in the mountain's shadow, the forecast a con, to give false hope for a moment, to forget the dark heart of the mountain's core. At midnight, as the night and tide turns and ebbs towards morning, the sound of the harp fades. Okay, the second one, I don't really have a title for, so maybe Cool Hot Jazz. The endless twist and interlacing rhythm of cool hot jazz, lines and music glide down from throaty sax and echoes back from drums. I feel the heat of the drums, feel the body's twist as the answering chords of the sax join the rhythm of the music. It's cool, hot jazz. It's cool, hot jazz. So come in, bang the drums. Feel the music, let the chords twist, let the rhythm flow. Blow your sax, let me hear your sax wail. It's cool, hot jazz. The beat of the rhythm heats up. The throbbing drums increases as the dancers twist rapidly in pace with the music. The music slows as the sax plays a final tune, a jumble of notes that twist into that sound called jazz. The slow cadence of the drums picks up the sax's rhythm, and the evolving rhythm, the lines and music fade into the night as the drum's beat fades into a whisper muted by the sax. Sipping wine and jazz, watching the night's last melded twist, but again the rhythm rumbles from the sax, the lines of music merge, jazz drums in a final spiraling twist. And although this is a while ago, Poets Anonymous did a couple of poets and painters. So the last poem I'm going to read is based, I'm going to try to do this, is based on this art piece. I did a poem based on this art piece, and then the artist did a poem based on one of my poems, did a painting or drawing based on one of my poems. So Pink Satin Ragtime. I step out in strappy heels at just dusk. On the cliff, hair notes merge in a wind song. The sax calls a solo lament against the rising wind. The inbound storm dances through the trees and underscores the melody of maple leaf rag. I sip a cool draft of memories as I watch the fading light. The music stirs, ripples the satin, sequins flash and dance in dreams, offer the illusion of dancing a tango with the storm. Arms grip tight the fabric of trapped magic. I spin in place, clipped, shorn of freedom, dancing in shackles across parquet and iron. Empty halls wait, total captivation. Ragtime jazz with swing, I dance the night away, ignoring the hooting call of pink sisters. I drown memories in Singapore slings, ignore the shadow of sorrow looking out of deep cast eyes. To avoid the pain of home, I lose myself in the upbeat rhythms of jazz in the park. Facing the mirror of time, I confront myself in the void of reality, breaking free to turn, frozen, always frozen, at the start of the dance, molting pink satin feathers, turning one way to return to safe reality, a break, thawing, shifting to join sisters in a final flamingo dance before transformation. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you, Megan. I like that last one a lot. Thank you very much. All right. Our last reader for the night, Brian Donald James, you are up. Take it away.
Evening. I see you, Megan. That was some hot jazz right there. I like that.
Well, I had to do that after today's Billy reading. It was amazing. I mean, it feels like I'm going back to school. I mean, I don't want to say it's MFA level, but he started out just reading poetry, and it came out and admitted this week that he started out doing it for him so we would have something to do, but it's just been a wild ride. He's been doing it every day at 5:30 since April.
Well, you nailed it. It was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tonight I have three. The first one is entitled "A Desolate Shore," and it was written on the beach in Jacksonville, Florida. As I walk this shore of desolate hearts, engulfed in blackness, where the crescent moon is lost, feel the heaviness of water against earth, inhaling atmospheres of salt and sea. I am an abandoned alien alone in this new universe. There is sorrow in every chamber of my being. Is this a glimpse of God's loneliness? I miss you. So in desperation, I fall to my knees to chart a course in sand, to set sail for the skyline of your eyes, navigating with my inner compass and yearning. I attempt to cross the abyss of my doubt. I feel the heaviness of water against earth. I'm fighting waves as they sway. I drift away. I drift away. The next piece is Preacher. Down in Nelson County lies an old church. It's set a ways back from a long winding road. Out front, the sign says, Christ is King. Inside, there is a smell of cedarwood and frankincense. Here, the faithful had gathered for some down-home preaching. The congregation fell silent as the preacher emerged, draped in a long velvet robe with gold crosses embossed upon his lapels. The crown of his head was balding, and his goatee was trimmed crisp. Floorboards were creaking slightly as he walked, slowly gliding to the pulpit. He knew that he too was a sinner, a humbleness that made him great in his sermons, and he knew that time was our greatest gift from the Creator. So he opened his Bible, clears his throat to begin, and says, "The end of the world come every day for somebody." And the last piece is about my daughter. It's a very old piece. It's called Cradle Princess. Cradle Princess, of cinnamon and nutmeg, lay tenderly without a sound, as I whisper in your ear, you are my special one. Years bring the joy of a daughter's love, so faithfully I bring cookies to the room of pink flowers, even when you misbehave. Left kiss, right kiss, hug and go. You are brother bashing. You are candy stashing. On your bike you ride away to find mystery. I die inside until you return. A bittersweet heartbreak, a father's weakness. While I am resting, your giggles wakes me, just for a moment. And I feel the elation to know that you are safe and happy. You blossom as I close my eyes and fall to rest. You are my special one. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, I love that last one, Brian. That was awesome. For every dad out there, that was awesome. Thank you all.
So beautiful.
I
I wish I had a dad who wrote poetry about me. I was like, your daughter is so lucky.
Yeah. All his kids are there. I think most of them would say, yeah, dad was a writer. Dad was a writer, that's for sure. Guys, it was been a great night. I really appreciate you. It's been a long week for the teachers, and you guys made my day, and I can't wait to do it again. So thank you, everybody. I'm John Dutton, and this is Spilled Ink, and I can't wait till we do it again. Thank you all.
Thank you, John. We appreciate you.
Love listening to y'all.
Yep. It was a great night. I can't wait to do it again. You guys take care. Keep writing. Keep scribbling. And have a great week. You too, Andrew. Make sure you
Bye,
get some
everybody.
rest.
Bye.
That's all. Take care.
Thank you.
Hmm.